Single mom's desperate text revealed an incredible connection, then a millionaire's touching surprise. On a crisp December evening, as Sarah huddled her two kids into the clutches of their blankets, a storm of emotions surged within her. She watched the twinkling lights outside their apartment window, each one a cruel reminder of what she couldn't provide. She worked 2 jobs, hustling through long shifts at the diner and cleaning houses after dark. Yet Christmas seemed to laugh in her face. It taunted her with visions of the holidays filled with joy, warmth, and presents. As she gazed upon a small, withering tree, adorned with hand-me-down ornaments, despair crept in. Was she failing them? She felt like she was drowning in insecurities, and loneliness clawed at her heart. Her phone sat silently on the table, an instrument of both connection and isolation. Could she really reach out for help? With a racing heart, she crafted a text to a local charity, each word weighing heavy with uncertainty. "I need assistance this holiday season. Please." Each keystroke felt like a stab. Was it failure to ask for help? She pressed send, then sat back, taking deep breaths as if she'd just jumped off a cliff. Unbeknownst to her, the message traveled through invisible lines of connection right to Jonathan, a local millionaire swallowed by isolation. Jonathan, who at 40 still felt the ache of loss after his mother's passing, read Sarah's heartfelt text like a mirror reflecting his own past. He remembered his mother's tireless work, the sacrifices she made, and the way she fought to give him just a shred of happiness in dark times. Each holiday season resurfaced those memories, magnifying his loneliness in his large, empty home. Despite his life of luxury, Jonathan often felt like a ghost haunting his own existence. But Sarah's message ignited something inside him. "I can help her," he whispered, yet hesitance held him like chains. Days passed, with Sarah in despair, feeling her worth crumble. With no response, she questioned if asking for help made her unworthy. Yet a spark erupted inside Jonathan. Moved by her authenticity, he decided to act anonymously. He organized a surprise delivery, transforming Sarah's dilapidated apartment into a holiday paradise. The moment she opened her door to find a fully decorated tree, bags of toys, and frosty treats waiting for her children, disbelief grabbed her throat. Confusion and frustration set in as she wrestled with the bittersweet reality of someone helping her without her knowing their identity. "Who did this?" she murmured, tears welling in her eyes. Her pride collided with the overwhelming gratitude bubbling within. It felt both like a blessing and a curse. Could she really accept kindness when she'd spent her life being fiercely independent? As the charity gala approached, anticipation mingled with anxiety. Jonathan stood in front of the mirror, contemplating revealing himself, while Sarah's heart fluttered with hope fueled by each new act of kindness. Could this odd connection made through unseen hands endure, or would their worlds crash together in an unwelcomed way? Would truth drive them apart, or knit their hearts closer? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the gala night crept closer, the stakes soared. Would Jonathan reclaim his lost community, or would Sarah's initial joy morph into disappointment when she learned the truth about her invisible benefactor? As the possibility of connection hung delicately between them, both were left wondering if sometimes reaching out for help meant discovering what could bring them together instead of tearing them apart. Sarah stood in front of the makeshift fireplace, the flickering light casting a warm glow over her children's sleeping faces. The sight filled her heart with love, yet a swirl of anxiety and uncertainty tugged at her thoughts. The past few days since finding the gifts had been a whirlwind of feelings. Gratitude mixed with guilt gnawed at her insides. Who was this person who had shown her such kindness, and why couldn't she shake the feeling that she should be doing this all on her own? The decorations on the tree sparkled, but her worries clouded the joy. She had feared reaching out for help, but here was proof that there were good people in the world. Still, accepting help was hard for her. Meanwhile, across town, Jonathan sat in his vast living room, dampened by shadows. The warmth of the holiday season seemed far removed from his reality, as he pondered whether the time had come to reveal his identity. He fiddled with the invitation to the gala, his fingers tracing the embossed letterhead. His heart raced, he yearned for connection, but the thought of exposing his kindness sent cold waves of doubt through him. Would Sarah see him as a savior or just another rich guy looking to play hero? The gala arrived, bringing with it an air of excitement and chaos. Festive music filled the lavish venue, and people mingled, exchanging laughter and stories. Jonathan stood at the entrance, heart thumping in his chest as he scanned the crowd for her. The sight of joyful families, enjoying what he wished he had, made his throat tighten. He reminded himself of why he wanted to help Sarah. That glimmer of hope for her family sparked a flame of purpose within him, propelling him forward through the sea of people. Sarah, dressed in the best outfit she could muster, walked through the doors, her 2 children happily skipping beside her. With each step she took, her heart raced, excitement dancing with a sliver of dread. She knew deep down that this was the event where she might finally discover the identity of her mysterious benefactor. But would they see her as she was just a struggling mother trying to give her children a life full of magic, or would they judge her for needing help? As she scanned the room, she locked eyes with Jonathan. In that instant, everything around them faded. Time stood still. Her breath hitched as she realized the man before her had an aura she recognized from somewhere deep within. Jonathan felt the pull to a magnetic connection that drew them together like moths to a flame. But just before they could move toward each other, a distraction broke the moment. Sarah's children spotted a group of kids playing near the Christmas tree and rushed off, leaving her standing alone, heart pounding. Jonathan hesitated, torn between approaching her and respecting her space. Did he reveal himself now, or would it ruin the magic of how they connected in the first place? Heart pounding and adrenaline pulsing through her veins, Sarah felt the urgency. Somehow, she had to find out who had turned her holiday from grim to gleaming magic. But as she turned to search for him, Jonathan decided it was time to make his move. Sarah. Would this moment lead to the answer she desperately sought, or would it introduce complications she couldn't manage? The stakes were rising, and the answer lay just out of reach. Sarah turned to the sound of her name, her heart leaping as she caught sight of Jonathan. He stood just a few feet away, bathed in the soft glow of the holiday lights. A mixture of hope and anxiety coursed through her. This was the man who had changed everything for her family, yet here he was, just a stranger in the midst of a grand party. For a moment, she felt lost, taking a hesitant step forward. Did he recognize her, or was this just another invitation from a kind stranger? The memory of all those gifts weighed heavily on her mind, but so did the nagging guilt for needing help. Jonathan, she said softly, her voice barely audible above the chatter and music. His eyes widened slightly as he stepped closer, and a warm smile broke through his solemn demeanor. I'm glad you came. The world around them faded again, but this time, it was the warmth in his gaze that held her attention. The awkwardness mingled with a certain familiarity that was hard to ignore. Everything she had feared about meeting him collided with the magic of the moment. I wanted to thank you, she started, her voice trembling just a little. For everything. Jonathan opened his mouth to reply, but the sprawling noise of the gala surged around them, filling the space between them with confusion. He leaned in, capturing her gaze fully. Could we talk somewhere quieter? Nodding, Sarah led the way to a cozy alcove adorned with garlands and candles. It felt like stepping into another world, one where worries faded and real conversations could unfold. Once they settled into their secluded spot, Sarah swallowed hard, gathering her thoughts. I don't know why you chose to help us, but it means so much. Her voice cracked. I've always tried to do everything on my own, you know. It's hard to accept kindness when you've built those walls so high. Jonathan took a step forward, urgency flashing in his eyes. You shouldn't have to. Everyone deserves support, Sarah. You deserve it, especially during this time of year. His words resonated within her. All the disbelief that had shrouded her heart began to melt. But why me? I'm just a single mom trying to get by. As I said, everyone deserves help, he replied, conviction threading through his tone. And I saw you. I saw your strength and your love for your kids. That's what compelled me. Her heart swelled at his sincerity, yet doubt lingered. But what if people see you as a rich guy swooping in to save the day? I don't want my story to change because of you. Then let it be what it is, he said firmly. A connection between two people who want to help each other. This isn't just charity, this could be the start of something beautiful. His words wrapped around her, comforting yet daunting. Could she really let him in, allow their lives to intertwine? However, she couldn't shake the feeling that fate had a hand in their meeting. The silence stretched between them until Jonathan leaned slightly closer, an air of determination in his posture. Sarah, what I've offered you is just the beginning. Tension crackled like the festive lights surrounding them, and a question loomed in the air. What do you mean? She asked, curiosity piqued. He hesitated, his eyes darkening with unspoken thoughts. There's something you need to know. As he moved closer, Sarah's pulse raced. Was this the moment that would change everything? Or would she find herself standing at the edge of another cliff, gazing down into uncertainty? Jonathan's words hung heavily in the air, a mix of uncertainty and hope swirling in her mind. The flickering candles cast shadows on his face, amplifying the earnestness in his expression. Sarah felt her breath catch in her throat, a mix of skepticism and anticipation dancing in her chest. What is it? She urged, feeling a strange urgency seep into her voice. Just tell me. He took a deep breath, as if preparing to divulge a great secret. I've been working on a project, something that could not only change my life but also help others. And I want you to be a part of it. Her brow furrowed as she processed his words. A project? What kind of project? Jonathan ran a hand through his hair, looking almost vulnerable under the soft light. It's a community initiative aimed at helping single parents like yourself. I want to create a support network where people can share resources, find jobs, and connect. Your story could be central to it. Sarah blinked, the reality of what he was saying sinking in. You want me to be involved? But why me? Because your story is powerful, he said, eyes shining with sincerity. I've been following your journey from a distance. You embody the resilience it takes to keep going, even when everything feels stacked against you. You have a voice that deserves to be heard. Her heart raced, the flutter of hope mixing with residual doubt. I don't know if I could do that. What if I fail? What if I let people down? Failure is part of growth, he reassured her. And you won't be alone. You'll have support from me and from others who understand what you've been through. An emotional swell threatened to overcome her. The idea of community, of support, of not having to face struggles in isolation was a foreign yet alluring concept. She could almost hear her children's laughter in the background, imagining a life where they thrived, not just survived. I'll think about it, she said, her voice tinged with uncertainty. It was half a promise, half a surrender. The warmth of his smile was infectious, igniting a hopeful spark inside her. That's all I ask. Just keep an open mind. Just then, a loud cheer erupted from the party where guests had gathered around a stage. An impromptu band was playing a lively tune, and the atmosphere buzzed with energy. Jonathan's attention flicked toward the chaos, then back to her, as if deciding whether to pull her into it or remain in their quiet sanctuary. Do you want to join them? He suggested. Sarah hesitated, the thought of losing this intimate moment unsettling, but there was an unmistakable pull toward the laughter and music outside. She took a deep breath and smiled, feeling a surge of courage. Let us go. What's the point of standing still when the world is so alive? As they re-entered the noise and energy of the celebration, she felt invigorated. Jonathan's laughter brought her joy, as they moved closer to the crowd, and her heart fluttered with the thrill of being seen, being valued, and perhaps, being a part of something greater. But as the night unfolded, Sarah was suddenly struck by a chilling thought. What if this was more than just a fleeting connection? What if, just maybe, Jonathan was becoming the key to unlocking a door she had kept shut for so long? With every beat of her heart, doubt and excitement intertwined ominously. Could she truly embrace this new potential, or would fear pull her back into the shadows? Just as she leaned closer to Jonathan, ready to plunge into whatever was waiting ahead, his phone buzzed in his pocket. He pulled it out, his expression shifting to one of concern. "I need to take this," he said, stepping aside. Sarah watched him walk away, her mind racing with questions. What happened now? Would he return? Or was this where their journey would begin to diverge? And as she stood surrounded by laughter and music, the weight of uncertainty settled over her once more, whispering that the true adventure was only just beginning. Sarah stood at the edge of the thrumming crowd, peering into the sea of dancing bodies and smiling faces. The music pulsed through her, a lively rhythm she hadn't realized she needed. Yet, despite the vibrant atmosphere, her heart felt heavy. Jonathan had stepped away, and she couldn't help but feel a void in his absence. Her thoughts swirled like leaves caught in a gust of wind. Deep down, she craved connection, the comfort of knowing someone truly cared. But what if this was all just a moment? The fear of falling short weighed on her, sending her spiraling into self-doubt. The laughter around her grew brighter, almost mocking, as she fought to pull herself together. She glanced toward the makeshift stage, where a local band was weaving a tapestry of lively tunes. People danced, energy radiating from their smiles, echoing a joy she yearned to claim for herself. A pang of longing shot through her. Would she always be an outsider in a world filled with laughter? The thought felt like a cruel twist of fate. Just as she was about to turn back toward the door, an older woman tapped her shoulder. "You okay, honey?" the woman asked, her voice warm like a comforting blanket. "You've got that look of someone in deep thought." Caught off guard, Sarah managed a fragile smile. "Just trying to find my place, I guess." The woman's eyes softened, reflecting understanding. "Been there. Sometimes it helps to let go for a bit." She motioned toward the dance floor, a vibrant mass of freedom and abandon. "Join in. You might surprise yourself." Before Sarah could respond, another cheer erupted from the crowd as a child ran past her, giggling. The sheer innocence and joy tugged at her heart. Taking a deep breath, she hesitated. What was it she was so afraid of? Stepping out into the world again? Being seen? The thought of her children's eyes lighting up as they saw their mother smiling again filled her with warmth. "Okay," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'll try." With renewed determination, she stepped into the pulsating mass of joyous people. She swayed her hips, letting the music take over, feeling freer with each beat. Laughter bubbled up within her, spilling out like sudden sunshine breaking through the clouds. A few minutes later, she caught sight of Jonathan, returning from his call, his brows still slightly knitted with worry. But then he saw her dancing, embodying a spirit he hadn't seen from her before. His face transformed, his lips curving into a smile that lit up his entire being. "Wow!" he exclaimed, weaving through the crowd to reach her. "Look at you go!" Sarah couldn't help but giggle, the sound almost foreign yet delightful to her ears. "Just letting loose a little." He moved closer, their bodies naturally sinking to the beat. "You're incredible. This is what it's all about." For the first time in weeks, Sarah felt a surge of confidence. Maybe she didn't have to carry the weight alone. Maybe Jonathan was right. Perhaps she could weave her story into something greater. Yet the thought of stepping into that role, of truly being vulnerable and sharing her struggles, felt daunting. The song shifted to something softer, and Jonathan leaned in closer, his voice dancing between them. "Can we talk more about the project later? I really think you'd shine." "Sure," she replied, feelings swirling like the music around them. Just then, a commotion broke out near the edge of the crowd. A voice cut through the joyful atmosphere, a woman's voice filled with panic. "Where is he? Someone help!" Glancing toward the noise, Sarah's heart raced. What was happening? Was this the moment where everything shifted again? Before she could gather her thoughts, Jonathan's expression changed, the concern rising in his eyes echoed deeply within her. He paused, searching her face. "Stay here. I'll check it out." Sarah's pulse quickened, fear swelling in her chest. What now? Would this night take another unexpected twist? And as Jonathan ran towards the chaos, she clutched her breath, her heart racing with uncertainty. What lay on the other side of this moment? Just as she steeled herself, a familiar weight pressed down. Sometimes the adventure we seek begins with the unknown. As the music faded into the background, the crowd was suddenly a blur of faces and frantic movements. Sarah's heart drummed in her chest, each beat echoing her rising anxiety. She strained to see what was happening beyond the jubilant dancers. The woman's cries became clearer. My son! He was right here! Please, someone help! Panic laced her voice, sending a chill down Sarah's spine. It was a mother's desperation and emotion that transcended everything. Without thinking, Sarah broke away from the group, inching her way toward the source of the commotion. The vibrant energy that had filled her moments ago was now suffocated by the overwhelming sense of urgency. She squeezed past startled partygoers, her heart racing faster with each step. When she reached the scene, chaos unfolded before her eyes. A small boy, no more than 6, stood alone a few feet away, tears streaming down his face. He was clutching a balloon, its vibrant colors contrasting sharply with his fear. His mother was rushing toward him, desperation written all over her features. Sarah's instincts kicked in. She moved closer, kneeling beside the boy and offering him a gentle smile. Hey there, buddy. Are you okay? His eyes widened with surprise and a flicker of relief sparked when he nodded, his little body shaking. I got lost. I know the feeling, she said softly, her own childhood memories swirling back to a time when she too had felt lost, searching for her place in a crowded world. But I promise, your mom is looking for you right now. Can we wait together? The boy nodded again, a glimmer of trust emerging from his fear. Just then, his mother reached them, and the moment their eyes met, the tension shattered. Oh, thank God! She gasped, rushing to scoop her son into her arms. The raw relief on her face was heartwarming. As they embraced, Sarah felt something shift within her. The connection between a mother and child, fueled by unconditional love, reminded her of the bond she shared with her own kids. Thank you? Thank you so much! The mother exclaimed, tears of gratitude glistening in her eyes. I was so scared. It was nothing, Sarah replied, barely able to hold back her own tears. They were tears of joy, healing, and recognition of a deeper bond that knit them together in that moment. As the mother comforted her son, Sarah stepped back, consumed by a swirl of emotions. The night had changed in a heartbeat. Jonathan's earlier words came rushing back. This is what it's all about. Just then, Jonathan emerged from the crowd, his concern quickly replaced by relief as he spotted Sarah. I saw you helping. That was amazing. Sarah felt her cheeks flush with warmth. It was just. I felt compelled to do something. Jonathan joined her side, his presence steady and calming. That's what makes you shine. You connect with people, Sarah. You should embrace that. She looked up at him, her heart swelling with new hope. Maybe, just maybe, she could allow herself to expand, to reach out further, to embrace the connections around her. As the music began to thrum again in the background, a more meaningful energy filled the air. Moments of struggle often blossomed into opportunities of connection, and she realized that her journey wasn't just about the weight she carried. It was about sharing burdens and lifting each other up. But before she could lean into those thoughts, a commotion sparked once more at the edge of the dance floor. This time, it felt different, intense, electric, charged with an expectation that made her heart race again. What now? She whispered, her pulse quickening. Jonathan cast a worried glance in that direction. Let us check it out. We can't just. The crowd was gathering. There was a ripple of tension that surged through everyone. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. What was happening? Should they find out together, or was it time to step back again, to let someone else take over? A new wave of uncertainty washed over her, filling her with questions and a flicker of dread. What secrets lay hidden in this night still waiting to unfold? As they moved closer, the crowd thickened, a mass of bodies whispering and shifting, drawn to whatever was brewing at the far edge of the dance floor. Sarah felt the familiar rush of adrenaline. She squeezed Jonathan's arm, her heart pounding like a drum. What could so easily break the atmosphere of joy they had just experienced? "We need to see what's happening," Jonathan urged, his voice steady, but there was a tension in his eyes that betrayed his own anxiety. They finally broke through the throng, and what had been whispers became a cacophony of voices. Sarah's breath hitched when she spotted a figure on the ground, a woman crumpled near the black and white checkered floor, surrounded by worried onlookers. "Oh my God," Sarah gasped, her instincts telling her to reach out, to be present. "Someone call an ambulance!" A voice rang out, cutting through the noise. The crowd buzzed with fear and uncertainty. Jonathan crouched beside the woman, gently placing a hand on her shoulder. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" he asked, his voice calm but urgent. Sarah felt a wave of helplessness rush over her. She wanted to help, to do something, but she had no idea what was wrong. The scattered mob left little room for detailed observations. All she could see was the worry etched on the faces around her. The woman's eyes fluttered open briefly, but unconsciousness pulled her back into darkness. "Let us keep her head elevated," Jonathan said, moving his hands to support the woman. "Do you think she's going to be okay?" Sarah asked, her voice trembling. "I don't know," he admitted, a shadow crossing his face. "But we can't just stand here." With adrenaline pushing her forward, Sarah took charge. "Everyone, please give her some space," she called out. "We need to let the paramedics through." The crowd parted slightly, still stricken with worry, as Jonathan maneuvered himself to keep the woman stable. Every second felt like a lifetime, but when the paramedics finally arrived moments later, relief washed over her. They quickly assessed the situation, their practiced movements a comforting sight. As the woman was carefully lifted onto a stretcher, Sarah caught a glimpse of her face. A quiet, flickering expression of fear gave way to appreciation when their eyes met. There was a spark of connection, one heart reaching out to another amidst the chaos. "Stay strong," Sarah shouted as the paramedics wheeled the stretcher away. "You're going to be okay." Jonathan exhaled, turning to Sarah as the crowd began to disperse, the earlier energy slowly returning to the party atmosphere but now bathed in a somber hue. "That was intense. I can't stop thinking about her," Sarah confessed, her heart still racing. "What could have caused that?" "Maybe her friends will know," Jonathan offered, but Sarah shook her head, the images haunting her thoughts. That fleeting moment of connection lingered, echoing the hardships of life, a reminder that everyone carried their own battles. "Do you believe in signs?" she asked suddenly, a mix of curiosity and hope flickering in her voice. "What kind of signs?" Jonathan replied, tilting his head, intrigued. "Like maybe this night is telling us something important. More than just the fun we were having." He studied her for a moment, sensing the weight of her emotions. "I think nights like this challenge us. They push us to face what matters most." Sarah nodded, feeling encouraged and relieved at the same time. It felt as if something was shifting within her. "Might that be our clue?" she said, her voice soft yet alive with possibility. Before Jonathan could respond, the music surged again, pulling their attention back to the dance floor, where the vibrant rhythm steadied the atmosphere. But Sarah's heart still thumped in time with the chaos they had just witnessed. As happy faces bobbed under the multicolored lights, she couldn't help but wonder if she would see the woman again, and what revelations awaited as her own journey continued. "Are we ready to find out what else this night has in store for us?" Jonathan asked, his adventurous spirit igniting in his eyes. "Absolutely," she replied, knowing that whatever lay ahead wouldn't just be about her anymore. Little did they know, just beyond the next fringes of the crowd, another life-altering encounter awaited, one that could change everything. As the music pulsed around them, Sarah felt the creeping shadows of doubt tugging at her heart. She had just witnessed something that turned her world upside down, and now the dance floor seemed like a different planet. Colors blurred together, and laughter felt hollow in her ears. "Let us dance," Jonathan suggested, his eyes bright with enthusiasm, trying to lift the weight that had settled over them. Maybe we should, she started, wanting to talk more about the woman's situation. But Jonathan was persistent, dragging her toward the thrumming crowd. She stumbled into the rhythm, but her mind was elsewhere, replaying the scene. Each clapping beat reminded her of the urgency in the paramedics' movements, and the worry in the crowd's faces. As they danced, Jonathan twirled her around, and for a brief moment she caught a glimpse of pure joy on his face. She wanted to surrender to the music, to feel the high spirits of the night again. But the connection with the woman lingered, an invisible thread pulling her heart back. "Hey, let us grab some air," she suddenly suggested, breaking away from the rhythm. She needed space to think, a moment to breathe without the blaring music overshadowing her thoughts. "Sure," he said, a hint of concern etching his brow. "You okay?" "Yeah, just I can't shake this feeling." They stepped outside, the cool breeze hitting her skin like a splash of reality. The dance of neon lights flickered behind them, but here, the night felt more grounded. "What's going on in that head of yours?" Jonathan asked, leaning against the wall beside her. "I just can't stop thinking about that woman," she admitted, biting her lip. "What if she needs someone? What if she's alone? I don't know, it makes me realize how fragile everything can be." "We think we have all this time," but Jonathan interrupted, resting a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Sarah, it's okay to feel this way. Sometimes it reminds us to appreciate the moments we have." She looked up into his warm eyes, and something flickered between them, a spark she hadn't noticed before. "Do you really think that's it? A lesson?" "Absolutely," he replied. "Life throws curveballs. We just need to be there for each other when it does." Just then, Sarah noticed a notification lighting up her phone screen. She glanced at it, and her heart sank. There was a message from an unknown number. "What's wrong?" Jonathan asked, his expression turning curious. "It's I don't know this number." She hesitated, but curiosity got the best of her. She opened the message, her heart racing. "Hello, is this Sarah? I heard you were at the party. Can you help me find my mom? I'm really worried about her." "What?" Sarah gasped, the air leaving her lungs. Jonathan leaned closer, his concern piqued as he read over her shoulder. "I think this might be about the woman we just saw." "Her daughter? Then we have to respond," he urged, excitement and urgency blending in his voice. Keeping her phone steady, Sarah quickly typed back, "Yes. I was there." "What happened?" As she sent the message, a realization hit her. This was an anchor in the storm swirling around her, an opportunity to reach out, to connect, to do something meaningful. Jonathan's eyes sparkled as the tension shifted back to a pulse of hope. "You might have just found your way to help someone in need," he said. "This could be the sign you were talking about." Just as Sarah contemplated their next move, her phone buzzed again. "I'm on my way to the venue now. Please wait." Her stomach twisted with a mix of dread and excitement. "What do we do now?" Jonathan asked, anticipation lighting his features. "I think we meet her. We need to." As they prepared to step back inside, Sarah couldn't shake off a feeling that this night was destined to change everything, yet she had no clue what awaited them. What if this was just the beginning of something monumental? In that moment, she felt the world shift once again, awakening her sense of possibility. And just like that, her phone vibrated a final time, and she could only wonder, what if the woman's daughter revealed something far deeper than she ever expected? The moment they stepped back inside the venue, Sarah felt the buzz of the crowd wash over her like a wave. The music had shifted again, a pulsing beat that seemed to vibrate through her very core. Yet, amidst the chaos, her heart raced for an entirely different reason now. The message from the daughter lingered in her mind. "Here," she said, pulling Jonathan deeper into the throng of bodies. "Let us find a quieter spot to meet her." Jonathan nodded, his face suddenly serious. "Do you want me to text her back, let her know we're waiting?" "Yeah, that might help." She pulled her phone out again, staring at the glowing screen. They needed to act fast, to ease the young girl's worry. But as words formed in her mind, the last message replayed in her thoughts. What had that woman gone through? They found a small table tucked away in a corner, somewhat shielded from the noise. Jonathan sat down, still scanning the crowd as if waiting for someone to appear. Do you think she's coming? He asked, breaking the silence that had settled. I hope so, Sarah replied, a knot tightening in her stomach. What if something happened to her on the way here? Let us just give it a minute, he said gently, resting his hand on hers. You did something brave reaching out. That counts for something. For a heartbeat, Sarah absorbed his touch. There was warmth and comfort in it, a fleeting moment where reality faded away. She smiled, even though dread still lurked at the edges. Then, her phone buzzed again. On my way. Are you still at the venue? Yes. She typed back, her fingers flying across the screen. Just inside the main entrance. We're waiting for you. Jonathan leaned over, a small grin forming. It's happening. It feels like we're creating a little detective story here, doesn't it? If only it came with a happy ending. The hope was there, but it was buried beneath layers of worry. As the minutes slipped by, they shifted nervously in their seats. Couples danced, and friends laughed, but Sarah felt as if she was on a different planet altogether. Time felt elastic, stretching out in a way that made her anxious. Finally, a figure emerged from the crowd, anxiety etched across her features. A girl, probably in her late teens, with anxious eyes darting around like a deer caught in headlights. Sarah? Jonathan? She called, voice shaky. That's us. Sarah stood, instantly drawn to the girl's aura. You must be. The girl rushed over, and came to a halt, uncertainty washing over her. I'm Mia. I'm looking for my mom. It's okay, Mia, we're here to help, Jonathan said, instinctively stepping in to support her. You can tell us everything. Mia exhaled deeply, her fears spilling out. I was at the other end of the venue when it happened. Mom, she collapsed. They took her away. I heard she was okay, but I had to find you. I can't lose her. Not now. Her words hit Sarah like a punch to the gut. The weight of the situation crashed down on her shoulders. Let us find out where she is right now. Is there a hospital or something we can call? Yes, but... Mia hesitated, biting her lip, glancing around as if she were afraid of being heard. I don't know how to get there. I don't have a ride. I was hoping. The urgency of her situation clamped tight around Sarah's heart. Of course, we can drive you. What? Jonathan looked stunned, his voice brimming with concern. Sarah, it's late. We don't know where we're going. Sarah turned to him, determination blazing in her eyes. But she needs us. What if this is the moment we can actually make a difference? Mia nodded, her eyes pleading. Please, I need to be there. Jonathan's hesitation fell away, replaced by reluctant acceptance. Okay, then let us go. As they rushed through the exit, Sarah felt the adrenaline propelling them forward. She could sense how pivotal this night could be, not just for her, but for Mia too. Yet, beneath the urgency, an unsettling thought gnawed at the edges of her mind. Would they find Mia's mom in time? And what secrets would unravel if they did? The rain fell gently as they stepped outside, the world bathed in a cool glow. Sarah, Jonathan, and Mia rushed toward Jonathan's car, hearts pounding with urgency. The faint sound of laughter and music bled away behind them, replaced by the rhythm of raindrops tapping on the windshield. Jonathan quickly slid into the driver's seat, his hands gripping the wheel tightly. Where do we go? He asked, his eyes shifting between the road and the anxious girl in the back seat. I think it's South Maple Street Hospital, Mia exclaimed, the fear in her voice palpable. It's about 10 minutes from here, but I don't think I have the address. Don't worry, I'll get us there, Jonathan replied, his tone steadying her nerves. He pressed the gas pedal as the car shot forward, the headlights slicing through the rain. As they drove, Sarah leaned back against the seat, her heart aching for Mia. She watched the girl's reflection in the rearview mirror, unable to ignore the flicker of pain and desperation etched on her face. You're doing the right thing by being there for your mom, she said softly, feeling an almost maternal instinct flare deep inside her. What if I'm too late? What if she doesn't wake up? Mia's voice trembled, each word drenched in fear. You won't be too late, Jonathan assured her, glancing back momentarily. We'll get there, and she'll want to see you. Every inch of Sarah wanted to reach out, to assure Mia that hope still sparkled even in the darkest of storms. You're her daughter. You belong by her side, no matter what. The urgency of the moment bonded them, amplifying their collective anxiety. Soon, the hospital loomed ahead, a stark beacon of hope against the fading twilight. Jonathan pulled into the lot, and they hurried out, raindrops dotting their clothes, a reminder of how real their fears felt at that moment. Mia bolted ahead, her heart leading her toward the entrance, and Sarah and Jonathan rushed to keep up. Once inside, they found a temporary refuge from the storm, but the chaos of the hospital wallowed around them. A nurse with a clipboard approached, her expression mixed with professionalism and empathy. "Can I help you?" she asked. "My mom." She was brought in. Sue Anderson. Mia gasped, words tumbling from her lips like a waterfall. The nurse's face softened as she nodded. "I'll check on her. Please have a seat in the waiting area." As they settled into the plastic chairs, Sarah could sense the weight of the moment pressing down on all three of them. The fluorescent lights flickered above, casting a cold glow that contrasted sharply with the warmth she felt for Mia. "Thank you both for coming with me," Mia whispered. "I didn't want to face this alone." "It's what we're here for," Jonathan replied, a sense of calm enveloping his words. "You don't have to face anything alone, Mia." Time crawled as they waited, each second stretching into an eternity. Sarah's mind raced, reflecting on her own struggles as a single mother. She thought of how reaching out for help felt like stretching her arms beyond walls she built up for years. Finally, the nurse reappeared, and the gravity in her eyes made Sarah's heart skip a beat. "Mia? Your mother is awake. You can see her now, but just for a short time," she said gently, leading them down a narrow hallway. Tension quaked through Mia's body. She rushed ahead, pulling Sarah and Jonathan into the room with her. There, lying in the hospital bed, was a woman connected to machines, her pale face illuminated with a fragile warmth. Mia's breath hitched as she rushed to her mother's side. "Mom!" she cried, her voice trembling with emotion. In that moment, Sarah witnessed the indescribable bond that flowed between them, the kind of love that surmounts fears, worries, and the very fragility of life itself. Her eyes glistened with tears, the kind that told stories of struggles shared and battles fought, encouraging both Mia and the woman to cherish this moment. Mia grasped her mother's hand tightly, desperate and hopeful. "I was so scared. I'm here now. I love you." Tears flowed freely as Jonathan and Sarah stood back, offering the two some privacy. Their hearts swelled with a mix of awe and warmth, and Sarah felt a shift inside her, realization that helping others doesn't diminish your worth. Rather, it amplifies it. Mia, the woman's weak voice broke through, carrying a warmth that filled the room. "I'm so glad you're here." In that fragile moment, a powerful sense of connection radiated between the three of them. They had become part of a larger narrative where struggle, compassion, and courage birthed new hopes and ignited a spark within their hearts. As Sarah stepped outside the room, she felt Jonathan's hand softly squeeze her shoulder. "You were meant to be here, Sarah," he said, his voice steady. "You're changing lives, including your own." "I can't believe all of this happened tonight," she replied, taking a deep breath, the weight of worry lifting slowly but surely. "Every moment brought us closer together for a reason," he said, looking into her eyes with sincerity. "Trust in that." And in that hospital, with the thrum of life swirling around them, Sarah felt something shift more profoundly than she had ever expected. She wasn't just a single mom. She was a beacon of hope, a part of a community fueled by love and support. The journey ahead was uncertain and perhaps full of challenges, but it wasn't the paths they would pave alone anymore. As they stepped out into the cold night, Sarah and Jonathan shared knowing glances, the bond between them solidified by courage, compassion, and the resilience of the human spirit. "Let us keep this connection alive," Jonathan said, determination igniting in his voice. "Let us build that community together. For Mia, for you, for everyone who needs it." Somewhere in the distance, the storm subsided, revealing a sky painted with stars. In that moment, Sarah knew starting anew was within reach. As they walked towards the glow of the parking lot, she couldn't help but smile at the possibilities laid before them. The only question that remained was, where would their newfound journey take them next? Now, you need to show your support for this incredible journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss out on the next exclusive stories that can touch your heart. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm so more people can experience these transformations. Comment below your thoughts and feelings about the ending. Your reactions matter. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who are craving a spark of hope and connection in their lives. Don't wait not even one more second to make a difference. Only true fans know how important it is to support the channel through these actions, so let's keep inspiring each other.